All right.
Woo!
All right. 3, 3, 2, 1. Muito. Welcome to the first ever episode of Your Favorite Album, where we sit down and we talk to people about what makes their favorite album their favorite album. Today I'm with my friend Connor. How are you?
Hello, Daniel. Thank you for having me.
Dude, anytime, man. How's it feel to be on the first one?
Dude, I am just... couldn't be happier.
You're taking my my solo podcast virginity right now.
I am, yeah.
Yep. Everything else has always been with people, but this
Damn,
is mine.
dude, in the tracksuit, too.
I know.
Woo. All right.
So you made me listen to Twin Fantasy, Face to Face by Car Seat Headrest.
The new Twin Fantasy.
Yeah, it came out in 2018,
Yep.
but was recorded a long time ago in 2011, and then they redid it.
Yeah.
Or he redid it with people.
I think he was like 17 or 18 when he first recorded it, honestly, right? I don't know. I remember reading about it that, you know, I don't know. I don't remember if it was the first record that he ever did, but it was early.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, like his early shit, he was, I remember being like 16 and like making music, actually, funnily enough, in the backseat of my fucking car. Right, because like my parents would be asleep, and I had a 4-track, and I would sit in the back of my car and fucking make awful music, and that's what he did. And on the 4chan music board, Mew, right, this is where everybody would like post it. Yeah, right, yeah, that's where he started though. He would, you know, there would be threads like, you know, post your band or whatever, critique each other, and yeah, that's how Will Toledo, the singer, and you know, essentially the band. I mean, you know,
it's basically just him.
It's basically just it's him.
He needed people,
right? Yeah, you know, I would say he's got a backing band essentially. You know what I mean? Like he writes everything. It's definitely like a personal led project. But yeah, he would post shit on Mew, and I mean, that was also where fucking Fantano got his start. I don't know if you know that.
Really?
Yeah, Fantano would do...
He's a huge fan of Will Toledo as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, a big fan.
You sent me that he did like an interview with him or something. Yeah. But
when did he become a furry? That's like I'd like to get that out of the way, like right out the gate.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Like it's basically his persona now. Like at the time of him doing this album, he wasn't, but now he's like full blown. Like he wears them at like live stage shows all the time. Is wearing masks now.
Oh yeah,
like
right.
He's got like an animated.
But that's not. Is that a furry thing? Their new thing. They're wearing those almost like
It's pretty goddamn close.
When they play those shows now, they're wearing those like almost like hazmat suit kind of things, right? I don't know. I mean, from what I can tell, that seemed to be like a push on the new record, like a reinventing or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of anonymity as well.
Yeah, sure. And like if you listen to the new record, I mean, it's like super different and like fucking weird and. I mean, I don't really like it that much. I don't know.
Well, from what I can tell too,
for that, but
he, when I was watching that interview, it pretty much was that his previous records were based around him and like his life experiences and his feelings. Where now he's starting to write more about his like thoughts and ideas.
Oh, is that right?
To so like now it's not like it's less about him and it's more of like a thing instead of his thing.
Oh, and maybe it's more of like a band thing now, I guess, too.
I guess at some point you kind of have to, right? Unless you're gonna be that much of a snob to.
Yeah.
This is my shit.
Is that a snob though? Like if you like, you know what I mean? If you like start this whole thing and then like the back man comes essentially, comes in and stuff like. Are you a snob or is it? You know what I mean? Like
how long do you have to exist with these people? And still be like, no, do this for me.
Right.
You know,
this is my
not
thing,
like, hey, write something for me. Like, no, play this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like at some point, someone's gonna come to you and be like, dude, like, we've been.
Can we
a
fucking?
Band
yeah, right. Can we fucking like? Yeah. Can we collaborate essentially on some shit? Yeah, I don't know, but I mean that's a good point. I think the most recent record definitely marks a turning point in them as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I mean, Twin Fantasy, the original. Did you listen to the original one?
I dabbled back and forth just to see lyrical differences.
Yeah,
it's kind of tough to listen to.
It is. I mean, it
was recorded through a potato.
Right. Exactly. And here's the thing. I mean, you have these music snobs and stuff, right? Like, you have these car seat headrest fans who, like, I mean, even just me talking about this is going to get people mad at me because, like, I disagree with the early, like, car seat headrest fans that are, like, the kind of, like, elitists of, like, oh, no, like, the original Twin Fantasy is so much better. It's so raw and, like, so much more feeling to it and all this shit, whatever, blah, blah. Okay, fine. You know, maybe, I mean, I would maybe even argue that a good amount of that is, like, personal nostalgia, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just kind of thing. But it's like, dude, the guy making the music wanted to re-record it so it would sound how he wants it to. Like the new version is how he wants it to sound. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, so it's like, I don't know. Like, he likes that better. He wants it to sound that way. That's what he wanted. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, because, like, okay, so, like when I was in a band, we like home recorded some shit. Yep. You know, but it didn't sound exactly how we wanted it to. Then we went to a studio and recorded it, and it sounded fucking better, and we're all happy. So, like, if someone was like, oh, no, bro, like, you're fucking the original recordings of it, like, that's way better, I would be like, no, like, shut up. Like, no, it's not. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
if you're recording music in your backseat, like, I have to assume, like, this is the best you can do.
Right,
and it probably sounds good for what you have.
It's the
like,
ideas.
You made it sound good.
Right.
Exactly. You did everything you could to bring it to the highest level.
Exactly.
Then, as this album progressed, he grew up. He got a little bit more money coming in his pocket. Boom. Right. This album means a lot to me. I wanted to make it the best that it can be.
Exactly. Like, the thing about his original recording of Twin Fantasy is not like, oh, I want to, like, I have the means and the capacity to make it sound fucking amazing, but, like, I choose to go lo-fi. You know what I mean? Because, like, sure, like, some bands choose to go lo-fi. You know, like,
oh yeah,
whatever. You know, especially with like the, you know, mid to like late 2000s, like, kind of lo-fi just scene, I guess, right? It's like, oh no, let's fucking jack this up and, like, make it sound lo-fi, you know? Because I don't know, it's just a thing, right?
Vibe, yep.
But it's like, no, he was not like, oh, I have access to, like, a studio, but I just want it to sound, you know what I mean? He's like, no, he's sitting in his fucking car, like, that's all he has. That he wants to make it sound better. Right. He just fucking can't, you know? So it's like, okay, so that's not an artistic choice, you know? So, like, I don't know, just the whole, like, elitist thing about, like, oh, if you listen to the new Twin Fantasy, like, oh, you know, you're not...
Get at it, yeah.
You're not yeah, right. It's like, nah, whatever, dude.
There will always be those clicks with everything.
Of course, yeah.
But I would... For me, even with the 2011 one, this album is mostly emotion anyway.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Like there's, like... It's... If you squeeze this thing, it's dripping emotion.
Oh, yeah. Just... So, I mean, that's what got me into it, you know?
Right,
it's just
yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, like...
So, for this album to be... even recorded how it was in 2011, it was the emotion that made it into what it was.
Exactly. That's why people liked it.
Yeah.
Like, people weren't like, oh my God, like, you know, we can get it. There, of course, there was, like, a great musical aspect to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, man, like, just the fucking raw emotion and everything. It's like, that's what a lot of people are getting out of it, you know?
And there's a fuck ton of raw emotion.
Yeah, dude, damn.
Like, it was interesting. I loved how... I've never been in most of these situations. Like, there are some things that are vague enough where I can apply myself to, but there are other situations that are super specific that I could put myself in those shoes because of how it was worded, because of like how it was conveyed.
Definitely, which I think is, like, I mean, that's the purpose of art, right? Like, so, yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great art as far as I'm concerned. When you can make me think that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course.
The second that I get an emotion, it gets points in my book. Like, there's some music where you can listen to it and, like, there's nothing, like you're hearing sounds and it exists. But the second, like, you get, like, that one little pluck, like,
oh yeah, that's what makes you come back.
Yep.
It's like, all right, you know, it's so weird. Like, I mean, we can talk about it too, but, like, a lot of moments like that on this record, like, some of them, and we'll get into it for sure, but some of those moments, like, they make me like almost like nostalgic for something that, like, I never even went through. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yes.
For, like,
absolutely.
something that never even happened to me, but, like, I long for it.
Yep.
In, like, a weird, you know, like, it's
there's one specific set of lyrics later on in the record that, like, I've never been through that, but like when he says it, I'm like, damn.
Dude,
like,
for me too. Yeah. So all right, well, yeah, let's get into it then. Get into the
All right, so but before we even get into this, like, what makes a favorite album a favorite album? Like what are like the criteria it gets that like obviously you've listened to a shitload of music,
Yeah.
but this is the album that you came here to talk about today.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, it's hard to just nail down one favorite album.
It's impossible.
But I mean, for the emotional aspect of it, right? Like I would put this Twin Fantasy as like a strong contender for like the best album of the 2010s.
Okay.
For me, right?
Okay.
Like, or whatever you call them. Yeah, I mean, anything else in the past, I mean, 2021 now, like anything else in the past 10 years that's come out, and there's been some great shit, but like, man, nothing has like hit me in like, I mean, the emotional aspect, but also it's like, man, it is a feat to like kind of reinvent like indie rock now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like it always seems like everything's been fucking done. You know what I mean? And the strange thing about this is that like Will Toledo is not like he's going back. He's not a new agey kind of, I mean, maybe on the newest record he is, but he's not a new agey dude. I mean, this record is drawing all its influences from like Beach Boys. You know, like huge Beach Boys influence. Beatles, Jesus and Mary Chain, the whole like late 80s to early 90s like shoegaze post-punk kind of shit, you know what I mean? Like, which of course like a ton of bands do now, you know what I mean? They got like who's the one, like Pity Sex and like that type of scene.
Yep.
I mean, of course they're like going in this like new agey like shoegaze revival type of thing or whatever, right? But he's doing it in a different way. It's just, I don't know, there's just so many influences that are like old but like reinvented for like modern times, just all this stuff. I don't know, it's unique. It's wicked unique, you know? I would say, you know what I mean? Like so like a lot of indie rock bands now, you can be like, okay, well, it all kind of set like Real Estate and stuff like that. You ever listen to like Real Estate? Nope. Or like, I don't know. I mean, even like I love Beach House and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But you can like listen to Beach House and like listen to a bunch of other bands that sound like Beach House. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I don't know. They just,
for me, this record, nothing about it felt needed or forced. Like there were some weird moments on it where like there's some like odd synthy parts that like come into songs, and I never felt like, oh, he was just throwing a synth in there. Like, oh, he was putting an audio sample from a movie, and like I never felt like any of that was like, I need this to be here, or like okay, this is trendy, we need to put here. Everything else felt like it fit into place.
Oh yeah, it's so like personal. I mean, and that's what makes good art too. You know what I mean? Is that it's like, it's not like the spectacle of like, oh, this is what it should sound like. You know what I mean? It's more just like, no, this is what I want it to sound like, and I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, dude, I mean, you wrote like Beach Life and Death, dude. You wrote like a 14-minute fucking song about like whatever you know what I mean?
And I fucking hate that it's 14 minutes long.
I love it. I love it
it's
so much.
It's lyrically, it's broken up into 3 parts. Like it's part 1, part 2,
essentially like 3 or 4 different songs.
Yeah. Just break it up for me, Chief.
Dude,
just break it up for me.
Oh, we have to get into that because I love that.
Really?
I love that in more than just that song. Like, I'm a sucker for
what's the other song? It's 16 minutes long, close to the end.
Oh, Famous Prophets, right?
Yeah, yep.
I have like a big, I don't know, I have like this wicked soft spot for that type of song, like a 14-minute long like rock song that is very obviously like 3 or 4 different songs.
Yep.
So like, I don't know when it originated. I mean, if I were to say, I would say On Crooked Rain by Pavement, the last song, Fillmore Jive, is like very obviously that. Like it's this like 12-minute long, just kind of like epic rock song or whatever, right? That's like very much like 3 different songs, clearly. But then the other one that did it for me is Broken Social Scene, who, I mean, their big record was You Forgot It in People, right? Like the whatever. But their one after that, I think it was the self-titled, I don't know, but they have this song called It's All Gonna Break, right? And it's like a 14-minute long song that's like 5 different fucking songs. But like, dude, that's so like, since those two, you know, I've had like a soft spot for that. And like that Broken Social Scene song, like that was the best song I've ever seen performed live in my entire life.
Okay.
Like House of Blues Boston, like it's similar to like Beach Life and Death in that it like kind of crescendos into this like fucking just awesome moment, you know what I mean? And like, oh dude, when they came out with that, like, yeah, that was the best live show for sure. But
And like I love like when that breaks in Beach Life and Death.
it does
like
multiple times, you know.
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
cool.
but like
yeah.
there's the bigger one towards the end.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's fucking incredible.
Oh, it's so sick, dude.
I still I wish that it was
Break it up for you,
dude. And it's weird because I like the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of having these you know like rising action, falling action, like of a song back and forth. For me, with an album, I love bookends. I love having an incredible intro, and I love having an incredible outro. This record fits that for me to a T.
Absolutely,
Like,
dude. Yeah,
I
for
hate
sure.
records that just start and records that just end.
I
need something that like kind of to build me up, and I need something to fall me off on the back
sure,
end.
dude. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, you know, it's like, you know, a lot of records sometimes too you listen to, and it's just like, man, like you should have closed this with this song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the way that you tracked this, I'm just not.
That's an interesting thing too. Is track listing? Like, I think it's kind of a lost art.
I think it is too, yeah. And
especially
like the
in the age of
digital
like
era.
with Spotify and everything.
Yeah,
like you get somebody like Drake that's just gonna throw 35 songs just to get
right,
to get the plays.
Yeah,
you
let's
know?
just fucking go. Like, cause yeah, it is. I mean, you used to put on a record and start it, flip it, and then it fucking ends. You know, it's like, yeah, it's not so much a thing anymore.
That. I need
give
that
me
too.
Bookends. And it's so weird because it's like now it's like, oh, if you do that, then like it is now classified as like a concept album, but that's not necessarily true. You know what I mean? It's like I think you can do that without having to have some overarching concept or whatever.
Even if it just sounds like a closing.
Yeah.
You know, like just give me a slight transition to no audio, and like I'm okay with that. Like that's close enough to
yeah,
it.
Dude,
like,
I
that
agree.
That fits my criteria.
Yeah. Yep.
So, do you remember where you were the first time you heard this record? Do you remember like so for me personally, most of my new music finding is either I'm really into this at the time and this is related to it, like in a YouTube related section or like a Spotify.
Okay, yeah.
Or somebody says, Dan, this record's fucking incredible. You need to listen to it. Or you make a podcast where people tell you their favorite albums and you have to listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, so I remember, like I was saying before, I remember the old like Mew days or whatever of like, you know, seeing like Car Seat Headrest here and there, but I was never, I mean, to be honest, I was never too like into it or whatever, you know, like I would see it here and there and I was like, you know, whatever, I don't know, it just wasn't my thing at the time. So, you know, I guess I can't be like an OG fucking elitist about it now, but
shame on you.
Yeah, but I remember first really them like really coming on my radar when they got signed to Matador. I mean, because you know Matador is fucking phenomenal. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh shit, the kid from fucking Mew like is on Matador now, and so they put out what was it? Was it Teens of Denial? I think their first so they signed. From what I understand, they signed a record deal with Matador where they would do like a record, and then he would also be allowed to re-record Twin Fantasy, right?
Okay.
And so they did Teens of Denial, and there was this like big media push for that and all this stuff, and I listened to that, and it had like a couple good tunes on it that like I was into or whatever. You know, I wasn't like super into it, whatever. But then they reissued Twin Fantasy, and yeah, I think I just kind of like threw it on, you know what I mean? And I remember I listened to the first song and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, whatever. And then like I was on my way home from work one day and I was like, oh shit, this is a like 14-minute long song, fucking Beach Life and Death. And I was like, oh, maybe it's like one of those like ones I like that's like fucking 4 different songs in one or whatever. And I put that on. I was just driving home and I was like, oh my god, I was like, this is good, you know what I mean? Like this is pretty fucking sick. But I wasn't too into it then. But then I remember going to this party, and I don't know. I was just in like, I don't know, just in kind of like a melancholy mood. You know what I mean? You know,
a little funk.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like at this party and like, I don't know, just whatever. You know, I was just like a little melancholy for some reason, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna leave, and I like left and just like happened to throw that record on, and like it was like a 40-minute ride home, and so like Beach Life and Death came on. And I paid attention to the lyrics a lot, and so of course it just like all start hitting me, and you know that moment when it really fucking hits you,
Yep.
and I was just like, oh, so I'm rewinding and like,
Yep.
you know, just fucking
Yep.
rewinding certain parts like 10 times, you know, and I was just like, oh, you know, and at that moment in time, I'm like, oh, this is like something special, you know, this is actually fucking really, really
Like,
good, like Jesus Christ.
When I was listening to it, for me, I go there. There's 3 stages to listening to an album. The first part is background. I throw it on. I do what the fuck I need to do.
Yeah.
And it exists there. And I'll hear moments that that stand out where I'm like, ooh, okay.
Kind of stick in your head, and you're
Yep.
like, yeah, all right.
The next is I'll sit down and I'll good headphones. I'll lay down. I hold Genius up and I read through the lyrics as it's
just
happening.
a real
Just
attentive listen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the third is the driving test.
Yeah.
And when I get to the driving test, so originally, "Stop Smoking, We Love You" was like that was the song that I like. I loved it. Like, "Stop Smoking, We Love You." Like, I don't want you to die. I like it sounded good. I loved it. It was catchy. It was stuck in my head for fucking ever. And that was during my like hardcore like deep listen.
Yeah,
That stuck with me. Then when I was driving, dude, I kept driving to Bodies.
Oh yeah.
I kept driving to
It's a
Bodies.
banger.
It really is.
It's just. Oh, yeah.
I kept like.
I mean, just
took
the
a
other
long
day
way
we were
home.
fucking singing it.
Couldn't
like,
stop it.
Yeah,
Couldn't stop it on stream. Yeah.
Yep.
And like ever since then, like just even that set of lyrics, like it's vague enough where like I can apply it to anything.
Like that chorus part you're talking
Yeah,
about.
just
Yeah,
the
Don't you realize our
yeah.
bodies could fall apart? Yeah.
Yep. Like
Oh,
at any moment. Like
it's great. I mean, yeah. I mean that part is such like a. I mean, obviously, in the context of the song, it's clearly meant to be like a. It's clearly meant to say like, let's just fucking do what we're gonna do because we could die any second.
Yep.
Right. So why waste our time? You know.
Yep.
I mean, you know, that's clearly what he means. But
yeah, 'cause it ends with something like can we please next time can we please meet at my place?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like,
right.
where it
Yeah.
ends where it's like
Yeah.
okay, like yeah, I sacrificed my time to come out to do this with you.
Right.
But
Which is great. I mean, yeah, I think that's great because it is like it's such like a it's such an obvious thing that we all talk about all the time. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, oh, should I like, you know, ask this person on a date or whatever? Like, yeah, of course you should. Like, what do you got to
Why
fucking
not?
lose? You
Why
know what I
not?
mean? Like,
Yep.
yeah, it's like, you know,
they
whatever.
say no.
Exactly. Yeah, right. It's that type of thing, you know? Like, oh, should I go do this? Yeah, of course you should. Like, it's fucking YOLO. As
Yeah,
dumb as that
it's-
is, you know what I mean? Like, it really is.
I hate that YOLO has been like it's like a bad thing because like it's such a good thing. Like a little callback to Drake, but like fuck Drake. Like Drake took YOLO and ruined it for the rest of us.
Oh, that's from Drake?
It's Drake and Tyga is the like.
I thought it was just like a meme.
Well, it was like a abbreviation for things, but then Drake and I think it was Tyga made a song called YOLO.
Oh, you know, honestly, I think the only Drake song I've ever heard is Hotline Bling.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, well, all right. Well, like there'll be a different point in time, dude. Like I have a Drake album for you to listen to, like an older.
We can
one.
do that on our next episode that we do together.
I'll go. So you said something along the lines
Is it
of Take Care.
Take Care? Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I figured. Yeah, that's the one I always see. The like.
You said something along the lines of Twin Fantasy being like one of your favorite records of the 2010s, where Take Care is it's a top 5 for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like
All right.
it's a dude.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's not. It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, I don't dislike Drake. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's just like
You can dislike
never-
Drake like 2013 on is awful.
Oh, yeah, I
It's
don't know. I mean,
acceptable.
yeah, I just don't like. I don't even know enough to dislike him. You know what I mean? It's
Fair.
just like I just kind of never listened to him. You know what I mean? Like not on purpose or anything. Just kind of, I don't know.
to
happened.
relate it to Will Toledo and Car Seat, like he's very specific with his emotions, where Drake is just like that Bo Burnham song where it's like I like a girl that has arms on either side,
Yeah.
and your eyes are that bluish, greenish, brownish
Right,
color.
yeah, yeah.
Like that's those are Drake lyrics.
Just kind of ubiquitous. You know, hey, that's pop for you.
Yep.
I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
Everybody can relate to this. It's like a tarot card reader or whatever. You know, being like, I'm getting a vibe that you have a dad. You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh my
do have a
God,
dad.
are you
I'm like-
fucking kidding
right,
me?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like shit. You know, just this ubiquitous kind of shit. But you know,
That's why I I go back and forth for me. Like if you take like the front bottoms, the modern baseballs, like those,
Yeah.
like those are people that are their lyrics are just so. I don't want to say general, but they're like super specific and like like you could write those lyrics down like it's almost a conversation. They're not profound. They're not metaphors. It's
just like straight up like this is what's
my
going on in
Instagram
my
didn't
life.
work today, and
Right,
I didn't know what to do.
That's such like a postmodern thing, kind of. You know what I mean? Because it's like all like art before was like that, like kind of like you can interpret this your own way or whatever.
Yep.
But then like in like the modern day, it's like oh no, this is like exactly what happened to me. It's like I like walked out in the snow and then like through whatever my fucking Instagram didn't work or whatever. Shit like that, but I mean that's cool. That's cool too.
Yeah, all has different vibes.
Yeah,
but I go back and forth. Like sometimes and maybe this is just relativity because sometimes it really connects with me, and other times I'm like, dude, like put a little more effort into it.
Right? Yeah. Let me
just like give me a little something more.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lyric I always go back to in a Lower Than Atlantis song. He says something about an army of ninja ghosts that come to attack him when the lights are off.
Yeah.
And that's an army of ninja ghosts. And I'm like, dude, like just a little bit more effort from me. And the song is incredible. I really like the song. And it's just about how like when the lights go off, he's stuck with his thoughts. Like that's all it is.
Right.
But this like army of ninja ghosts is really
it's a little heavy-handed.
It's a little rough.
Yeah.
Like I want to give him credit for it being like
trying to be like some metaphorical or whatever,
but like just take the little effort knob and tweak it a little bit.
Yeah,
that's a rough one.
Yeah.
So when we start going down this track list, right? I mean, obviously there's a whole overarching thing, right? But start to finish, for me, as I listened to it, there were a ton of things and there were a ton of moments that like I related to.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you have anything that stands out in particular?
Oh, I have a ton. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, do you want to go track by track kind of ish? Like, just as far as
we'll go
stuff that we like relate to and everything like that.
So right out of the gate, like you got My Boy.
Yeah, I mean, so as far as stuff that I relate to on My Boy, like, just I don't know. I mean, just absolute genius fucking song as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm
gonna pull up the lyrics here while you keep going.
Yeah, I mean, talk about like ubiquity and being able to apply it to whatever you want. But just, I mean, obviously, so I mean, for context, like Will Toledo is gay.
Yep.
Right. And so, I mean, this album is like a tragic love story, like very much so, right? Obviously, and it's like, so yeah, I mean, dude, just the most basic thing, just like, and this is, I felt like this in relationships too. It's just the lyrics, just my boy, we don't see each other much, and just repeated. But then, what is it? My boy, we don't see each other.
It'll take some time.
It'll take some time, but somewhere down the line, we won't be alone.
Yep.
Like, that is fucking fantastic. And we can talk about how that gets called back to at the end of Sober to Death.
Yep.
Which is fucking amazing.
I love callbacks. And this album's filled with it.
Oh, this album's even filled with callbacks to other Car Seat Heavy.
Yep.
Right. Yep. But, like, I mean, first of all, love the open-endedness of somewhere down the line, we won't be alone. It's not specifically that we will be together, but it's that we won't be alone. So I
also love how
that.
it's like the only positive like thought process throughout most of this album.
Yeah,
like
that's a good point.
To come out the record, like overall, like it's not like sad album, you know, like
right. I mean, it's not cynical,
right? Yeah,
you know, like, but. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Like right out the gate, like it starts off like we don't see each other much, and you're like, okay, we're on like it's kind of like in a slow, and then he gives that like little bit of hope there,
right?
That we won't be alone, and I like that. It like because the rest of the album really isn't like that.
You're right, and I do like the well-adjustedness though of like already out the gate, like we won't be alone, like, but it might not necessarily be with each other.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Which is like, it's a great outlook. But man, like the first time that I fucking paid attention to that and listened, and just the way it comes in so like minimalist and everything, and just like somewhere down the line We won't be alone. I was just like, man, all right, let's fucking go. You know what I mean? That's just louder the second time and way fucking louder the third time. Like, let's go. But to get into like the musical aspect of the song, right? Like, so, and this is where like it gets into like the influences and stuff of him on this record. I mean, like, it's basically a direct ripoff of Just Like Honey from the Jesus and Mary Chain, right? Which he said, and he's like, oh yeah, like I fucking love that, you know what I mean? Just that like, you know, that doom doom, yeah, that like, you know, intro like that. And the interesting thing about that is that once I heard that he said that about the Jesus and Mary Chain, you kind of start to notice the influence of that band on the rest of the record too, specifically the guitar tones, which is an interesting thing because like the sound, the music, like Car Seat Headrest, they don't sound like the Jesus and Mary Chain, like at all, really, right? You know what I mean? But there's this like specific type of like guitar distortion. So there's basically like 3 different types of guitar distortion, right? So if you're to look at like a sine wave, so regular guitar distortion is kind of just like up and down, you know. And then if you were to put on a fuzz pedal, it's square. Sine wave is square, right? So it's like
more binary.
It cuts out. It gives it that almost like, I don't know, electric-y kind of sound. You know what I mean? But Jesus and Mary Chain, they used a type of distortion that I don't know if I remember, but I think it's called like sawtooth. And it's like, it's almost like a mixture of both, right? It goes like up like in a triangle, but then like straight down, how like a fuzz would, right? So as opposed to like triangle of distortion, square of fuzz, it's like angled triangle up and then straight down. So it has like this unique sound, which you'll notice that like a lot of the distorted guitar on Twin Fantasy sounds like, which is pretty cool, you know. I mean, it's just weird for him to draw that like that sound. I mean, like, because like in like the 90s like shoegaze scene, right? Like the kind of opening of shoegaze or whatever, or like post-punk type of shit. I mean, they were kind of like the big 3, like Jesus, Mary Chain, Slow Dive, and My Bloody Valentine, right? And Slow Dive was kind of using these like more clean, like flangey and type of guitar sounds. And My Bloody Valentine, who fucking knows?
I've listened to one My Bloody Valentine record and I was like,
yeah, they're just, we could do, you know, you could talk about that shit forever, but Jesus and Mary Chain were the ones doing like the sawtooth kind of thing, you know, which is like a lot more of this like post-punk type of thing, which I just find so interesting that he like draws influences from like Beach Boys, but then you're like layering your songs with like multiple guitars of like fucking sawtooth, you know what I mean? Like late 80s, early 90s sawtooth distortion, while you have these like Beach Boys harmonies and shit going on. It's just like, it's such a unique thing, you know, like that's great.
What I like the most too is I have a big thing for listening to a record without knowing much about it and not being able to tell what year it is.
Yeah.
Like there are a couple of records, a lot of them, where you can listen to something and be like, okay, like this is definitely 2011.
Right.
Like if you listen to TikTok by Kesha, you remember that song?
I remember that song. Yeah.
Like you can like that is that is 2009, 2010 to a T.
Right.
You know, like there are certain songs, and I really like records where when you listen to it, you can't tell when they came out.
Yeah, because
like a lot of brand new for that is me for that with brand new. Like I couldn't tell you when a brand new record came out. Without knowing it behind the.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, like Daisy. I mean, you could put that in like. I mean, it's obviously very influenced by like 90s like post-hardcore. I would put it right there. You know what I mean? If without knowing the context, I'd be like, oh, that's probably like 94 or something. You know what I mean?
It was like 2017. Yeah. 18.
No, Daisy. I think it was earlier than that. I think it was like 10 years ago now.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Fuck, I'm old, man.
It's been a long time. I'm old. Yeah, we're old, dude.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, so, yeah. My Boy, great.
2009.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I was thinking the one with the person jumping out of the car. originally. I thought that
I
was
don't think I
Daisy.
listened to that
It was their newest record. That's why I said
okay,
2018.
okay. Yeah, Daisy was a little while. But yeah, My Boy, just fantastic opening to a record. I just love the start with the drums, bass, layer it in, starts with the clean guitar. It's, you know what I mean? It's literally just building fucking all of the layers. And then by the end, everything, it's just wall of sound just fucking blasting you in your fucking face. And it's like, here's what you're in for. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'm going to be quiet. And sometimes I'm going to be fucking loud, you know? And, like, that's great.
In lyrically, too, like, it's nice because it's, you know, we don't see much anymore. Like, it's on this, like, sadder tone.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the, you know, like, the glimpse of hope. But that sets the for the rest of the record, too. Because throughout the rest of the record, there's a whole bunch of lyrics that are obviously on the sad, depressing side.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he'll say something, or he'll repeat lyrics and then change, like, a word to more,
right,
to benefit him better.
Yeah, especially in the context of, like, how he changed some lyrics from the original to the new one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that was impressive. Like, so that was a late finding for me, that the lyrics changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've probably listened to this record 10, 12 times, I think, start to finish.
Yeah.
And I probably started digging deep into it around, like, maybe like the 6th or 7th listen to, and then I realized that they started changing lyrics.
Right.
And that was incredible, because it goes from, you know, how he was feeling then to then how he's aged and progressed and how he feels about it now looking back.
Right. Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So next is Beach Life and Death.
Dude.
So is the big line from the song? So it's 14 minutes of stuff, a lot of feeling throughout
a lot of
it.
Stuff going on, a lot of stuff.
So through all of those lyrics, like, there's a ton that stuck out to me. So, like, I wrote down a list of, like, the lyrics that stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is the big set of lyrics I pretended to be drunk when I came out to my friends? I never really came out to my friends. Because for me, that's the one. Out of all the words that are said within that 14-minute span, that's the one that sticks out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that line for sure, like, resonates with me super hard. You know, for certain reasons. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I feel that very much. That line, like, got to me personally a lot when I would listen to it. But oddly enough, I have, like, a specific part of this song that, like, really, really gets to me, and I don't know why, right? But it's the part where he says, so it kind of goes on for a while and all this stuff. And I mean, first of all, I absolutely love the musical aspect of this part, but there's something about the part where he says, in the mall in the nighttime, you came back with a flashlight.
It was my favorite scene. I
my
couldn't tell you what it means.
Exactly.
Yep.
But it
Incredible.
meant something to me.
Yep.
That
Incredible.
absolutely fucking incredible, because there's, like, two aspects to this, right? So he's saying, I don't know what he's talking about. I do, because I read about it. He's talking about some, like, furry fan fiction.
Yep.
Right? Because, surprise, he's a furry.
Yeah.
Right?
Rough.
Yeah, and so, but so, you know, he's talking about this vague thing that he likes or whatever, right? So, in the mall in the nighttime, you came back with a flashlight, whatever, blah, blah. It was my favorite scene. I didn't know what it means, but it meant something to me. That, in the way he sings it with, like, such emotion, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's so weird, because it's like, it's not like breaking the fourth wall, but it is this, like, this, I don't know, it resonates in this weird way that it's like, he's talking about how he doesn't know what something means, but for some reason it means something to him, while as I'm listening to him talk about that, it means something to me,
yep.
But I don't fucking know why.
Yep.
Right? That's so cool, dude. Like, yeah, it gets to me, you know?
Do you have a specific moment that comes to mind when that, like, moment doesn't mean much to me?
I do, yeah.
So like, for me, like, when I heard that line, I remember I was dating this girl, and I dropped her off at her house, and, like, when she get out of the car, you know, like, hey, you know, had a great time, you know, blah, 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 close the door, and then, like, as she left, she, like, tapped on the window, and then, like, continued on, and, like, I don't know why,
that
but,
just,
like,
that comes
tap,
up, that just
that,
fucking
like,
pops up in your brain.
That tap, like the tap meant nothing, like, it, like,
right.
it was, like, that was it,
right.
was it, but, like, it meant something to me.
Right,
Yep.
exactly. That's what it is for me too. Like it's like I associate it with like this weird like specific memory, like with like my ex-girlfriend, like visiting her at school, and just I don't even know, just this kind of, I don't know, just weird, right? Like not a specific memory so much, but just like the feeling of like almost like being there or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, just like it. I mean, and that's so good because like so much of like the music that we listen to or like the whatever type of like media or art we consume, like for some reason just means something to you, right? Like it might not even whatever, like you might not know what it means.
Yep.
But just for some reason it just triggers that fucking part where you're just like, oh man, like so that part gets to me great. And then after he says that, I fucking love the lines after it where he says pretty soon you'll find some what is it? Do you have those lyrics up right there?
Yep.
It says pretty soon you'll find some Satanist with braces or whatever. Yeah,
pretty soon you find some nice young Satanists with braces and one capital O significant other, and you can take him home to your mother and say, "Ma, this is my
brother." Right. Oh my fucking dude, can you play that part?
Yeah.
Like,
do you know where it is in the song?
I would say
We're 7 minutes in right now.
Yeah, keep going a little bit. 20, go like 20 seconds back. Yeah, here we go. And he sounds so sad, Fuck, and then to bang right back into that.
Yep.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, to go back into the we said we hated humans, we wanted to be humans.
That line is fucking fantastic. That refrain, we said we hated to be humans, or we said we hated humans, we wanted to be humans.
Yep.
Dude, that is like so fucking good because I mean, every relationship anyone gets into, you bond with each other, whatever. You always talk about how much everybody else sucks.
Yep.
Everybody else sucks.
Yep.
Except for you two in your just little vacuum, And it's such like a bonding thing. And it's like but that's what it is though. We hate everybody else, but like no, we want to be that. We want to be.
Yep.
It's just so like well fucking put. Like, and then I mean, not even like joking. Like when you bring like the furry aspect into it, right? Like,
fair.
But it is like
yeah.
You probably, I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to be that or whatever, or just like it's just like, I mean, it's like Instagram, it's like social media bullshit, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I see, you see people being happy or whatever, which like obviously that's just, social media and everything, but it's like, oh, I'm going to shit on that and say, obviously that is just social media or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, I want to be fucking happy.
Hell yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like, it's like,
back
it's like the cynicism like is like a shield.
They look good at apple picking. Like, fuck, like.
Exactly.
Fuck.
Shit like that, that bullshit. It's like, oh, we said we hated that, but like, we want to fucking be that, So
on my first background listen, it gets to the lines immediately after we want humans. The get more groceries, get eaten. Get more groceries, get eaten.
Yeah, I don't get that part at all.
well, it's
it's normal
life.
shit.
Like the monotony of like you buy groceries, you eat them. Go buy groceries, you eat them.
Right.
Like back and forth.
Okay.
And like so. That stood out to me when I heard that, and I was like, well, I didn't recognize those lyrics. I was like, that's fucking weird.
Right.
And then going back and through, in the other part, we said we're humans. We wanted to be. We hate humans.
It's like I just want to be normal and do
that's
normal
it.
Shit. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you're right.
Every Time I Die has a lyric that's I want to be dead with my friends.
Yeah.
And you hear that lyric and you're like, oh Jesus Christ! And it was the like I want to mow my lawn. I want to like work my 9 to 5, come home to my wife. Like he's like that's where it means. So going back to like just get more groceries, going through life like that. Like I get it. Like you're an odd person. Like you don't fit into these norms. But like sitting back and like looking at it and being
you just want to because it's just, yeah right yeah. I mean
everyone else is doing it. These people look happy.
There's a Descendants song that is also that same thing. What is it? It's like Suburban Home by the Descendants, right? The whole song, he's just like, I want a suburban home, whatever. I just want to be normal,
Yep.
right? Like he's
Pick
like,
a fence, a
he's like, I
driveway.
don't want a hippie pad. I want a house just like mom and dad, I
Yep.
want whatever, it's, I just want to be fucking normal, which is cool. And, as we were talking about too, to bring it back, the lines before that, like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've entirely felt that, like, when he says, like, pretty soon you'll find some nice young Satanist with braces and you'll take him home to your mother and say, Ma, this is my brother, right? Like, it's like, oh, yeah, like, I've been in those relationships or whatever where you think, like, pretty soon you're going to find, like, the actual one for you, essentially, you know what I mean?
That was a test run.
Yeah, right, exactly, it's like, yeah, which is, like, fucking sucks, but it's such, like, a good way to put it in, like, and say, like, Ma, this is my brother, because, I mean, like, obviously the whole record, the whole kind of concept behind the thing, right, is that they're, like, twins, right, that it's, like, they're connected through the brain, like, him and this guy that he's, like, dating or not dating or whatever, like, the obvious, like, object of all the songs, and it's, like, he kind of classifies it as, like, a closer bond than, like, a relationship, right, like a brother or whatever. And he goes back to that, like, heavy in the last song, which we'll get into, but it's like, yeah, that's just so, like, man, we all know that fucking feeling, like, what can you do? That's it, like.
Yeah, that's it's tough because I don't even know how to. You get put in that position, and for the most part, you're in that position,
right?
Like you start to feel like
you can
wait
feel
a
it.
minute, like
Yep.
And then from there, it's okay. Do I try and crawl myself out, or
right? What do you
can
do?
you
exactly.
Like,
yeah,
and then in my opinion, like then you're just digging yourself deeper into the hole.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure you are, yeah. And so it's such, like, a tough spot to be in, because it's just like, yeah, I mean, and you can just feel it, like you said, like, you can feel it, like, like, I'm not the one in your mind, like, but yeah, what the hell?
I've got some good qualities, or maybe I'm the person that's been nice to you, but like at the end of the day, I'm not.
I can very much tell that, like, I'm not the one for you or whatever, right? Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, and I mean that's what he's getting at there, and so it's like, yeah, we can all fucking relate to that, like, that's great.
Another good line from this is after that next verse, this is when they finally found their homes at Walt Disney Studios, and then everyone grew up with their fundamental schemes fucked up.
Yeah,
like I really like that line too, because I don't know if you've run into this, but like with Disney videos, or with like obviously Disney has like a tragedy within them.
Yeah,
but for the most part, they have this happy ending.
Right.
And like a lot of people growing up, like, attach themselves like I'm Aladdin, I want my Jasmine,
Right.
And like that's not a realistic thing.
Right.
Like there's no Jim and Pam.
Right.
There's like there's no Cinderella, meeting
yeah.
Prince Charming. Like those things are like. So, like, and everyone grows up and their own fundamental schemes fucked, and, like, yeah, they have this idea that, like, I'm going to meet my Prince Charming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think our generation in particular is in such a weird spot with that, right? Because, like, as you say, the media that we consumed, like, as kids was still that kind of, like, moralistic kind of, there's going to be a happy ending or whatever, right? Like, like there is this kind of, there's kind of an overarching, like, whatever.
Do
like,
the right thing, good things
right,
happen.
there, there is this, like, morality, and there's this kind of thing that's going to happen, and this is how the world works, whatever. And then we kind of cut our teeth on that as kids, but then when we hit, like, teens or whatever, it kind of like culture and like US media and culture and everything kind of shifted to this, like, postmodern thing where it's like they're not, like, nihilistic, but just this kind of, like, almost absurdist kind of thing where it's like, oh no, nothing means anything, you know what I mean? Like, morals are out the window, and not to be like not to sound like that, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we need like the nuclear family, blah, blah,
Yeah.
whatever. We need to get back to morality or whatever. But it is this like kind of weird like thing where it's like, oh, you know, then like the media and culture kind of shifted to this thing. Like, you know, you watch like, then you watch, it kind of started with like Seinfeld, right? And then like Always Sunny and stuff like that. Like all these things, like if you watch these old shows and everything, it was always, oh, you know, here's the issue, and then it gets resolved, and here's like the lesson that you learn from it, right? You know what I mean? But then like as time goes on in this like postmodern era, it's just like, oh no, there are like no lessons to be learned. Like nothing means anything. You know what I mean? Like shit like that, like Seinfeld, It's Always Sunny, stuff like that. It's just like, oh no, like just everything is just fucked, you know? And
if
then,
you take like an episode of like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like,
right?
Every single episode was like something
to teach you something almost,
right? Like Will goes to jail, like on a bullshit thing strictly because he's black, you know,
right?
Like something like that.
And here's why racism's bad, blah,
bingo,
blah, whatever.
Bingo, yep.
You know, here's this. You're right, whatever. And
don't treat women bad, like because of the X, Y, E.
Right,
like,
exactly. Here's all these.
There's
like,
always something.
Moral lessons and stuff like that. And now
you get Charlie Day beating the shit out of rats, and,
right?
And it's an episode.
Exactly. It's just it's such a weird like cultural shift and just like this phenomenon. And again, not to be like, oh, we need like Christian morality or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? It's just like, no, it's just like observing that, you know, that we kind of were in the middle of that, you know? I mean, look at kids now, right? Like, it's like so postmodern. It's just so like, I mean, look at like the memes and shit, you know, everything like that. Like everything is just
nihilist
so like,
memes,
yeah, just
like...
not everything's so like fucking absurdist. Like it's just like, what, you know what I mean? Like it's strange, you know. It's fucking weird, but I don't even know how we started talking about that.
We were talking about Disney and how Disney fucked up everybody.
Right. Yeah. So that's the exact thing that he's talking about. You know, he's like, you know, he's of our generation, you know. So he's like, yeah, I grew up with all this fucking shit, and like now nothing means anything, you know, and it's just fucking weird.
Yeah, like for the people that grew up there, they think that these Disney lives are going to happen to them,
right?
And that's not the case.
Right, just all this fantastical stuff, and it is interesting too because like he's writing with this record, he's almost writing like an anti-fantasy to that, right? It's like, oh no, here's why, like here's like all the fantastical elements and everything, and here's why it's still fucking went to shit. You know what I mean?
Like it's like this is like how it should have been, like right. According to Disney and according to these things. But real life,
right? Like
how most people exist within this world, it's this,
right? Yeah, and that's like the harsh truth of it, which is like, yeah, I mean, yeah, and again, just quickly on this song too, to bring it back to what you said that the like came out to my friends stuff and all that and everything. Damn, what a fucking just awesome moment in this record when he just says, she says, "What's with this dog motif?" I said, "Do you have something against dogs?" And he holds that note out for so fucking long, dude. Like, play that part because that is like, I don't know.
That's early in this song.
That's early.
Let's see if we can find it.
I don't know if you've tried to sing that part like in your car. A little bit after this.
I'm not a good singer.
A little bit beforehand. Here we go. Oh my god, man.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Oh, that is great. I mean, you know, the kid can't really sing that well, but like fucking nice. And I love the part after that too, the, you know, I'm almost completely soulless, I'm incapable of being human, just like,
and then further back in the song where we wanted to be humans, like later
exactly
on.
He's just laying it all out there, man, like, I'm soulless, I can't be a human, I'm fucking just
I had that lyric written down too about like what's a dog motif, like, oh, you got something about dogs, and like just that conversation shift,
right?
Like I really enjoy that he's acknowledging that, you know, oh, you're talking about this subject, and like, ooh, I'm gonna kind of backpedal and we're gonna change it to like, oh, you don't like dogs,
right? Yeah, right, yeah, like still being like not comfortable like talking about
Yep. I mean, he even
know,
says
what's
it. He
going
says, and I laugh and change the subject. Like, he's acknowledging. And I like that part too. Like throughout the record, he breaks the fourth wall a whole bunch of times. He talks to us a lot throughout the record.
It's great.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean, especially when he. We'll get to bodies eventually.
Yeah,
when he tells me when the chorus comes.
Yeah,
like,
right,
that's
exactly.
like
that's
I fucking
great.
love that. All right, so the next song is "Stop Smoking."
Right.
This was on my first 2 listens. This was the song. This was the song that did
That's
it for
so
me.
interesting.
And it's I don't know why. Yeah, like I've got some people in my life that smoke, and I'm like, dude, like stop smoking. You better like as you're smoking.
I was gonna say you're gonna fucking acknowledge it.
Dude, I've been telling any of my friends that stop smoking. I've
Right.
told all of them. But I mean, the lyrics are literally just "Stop smoking, we love you," repeated until it goes, "And we don't want you to die."
That's
and
it.
then
Yeah, just-
"We don't want you to die" gets repeated a bunch of times.
Nothing metaphorical about it. Nothing.
It's
just
straightforward.
It's a straight just message.
Yep.
Just yeah.
Stop smoking. We love you. We don't want you to die.
That's it. We've all told somebody that before.
Of course.
I've
And
told
like
myself that.
I fucking love it.
It's great.
I love it.
It's great.
I have so a big part of me doing this podcast and talking with people is I'm interested to get people that are instrument inclined. You play multiple instruments, you've wrote multiple songs, you've been in multiple bands. I have done none of that. So when I listen to music, I hear things differently than someone like you.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, I love the repetition of lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Like it obviously it drives the point home, whatever said point is.
Yeah.
But like I'm always interested to hear somebody that writes songs, and when they find, I mean, granted you can't speak to what Will Toledo was thinking when he hit it, but like for you to be like, I'm going to repeat this line.
Yeah, just
like,
to really fucking drive it home.
Like I'm always curious if yeah, A, drive it home, but B, like I got to assume that also when you're writing something, you're like, I need to fill this space. I'm just going to say it again.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's the case, but and there's a funny Piebald lyric about that where he like in like one of his songs he like gets to the like end of the song and he's like oh the third verse was going to be the same as the first. I'm not creative anymore. Essentially, he kind of shits on himself for it. But I absolutely don't think that's the case with Stop Smoking, right? Because it's like, yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
is that
like,
I don't feel like it was to fill up space. Like
absolutely
this
not.
was 100% intended
Yeah.
to continue to say, we don't want you to die, we don't want you to die, we don't want you to die.
For sure. It's not like he like wrote like, I mean, that's like an eighth of a song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's not like he wrote like an eighth of a song and was like, oh, I need filler time, so let me just keep saying it. It was like, no, because then they would just be like, hey, you know what? Just let's not put that on the record.
album.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
This
like
is an 18-second song.
right? Exactly. Yeah. So he's like, no, it's like clearly very like on purpose kind of thing. Like, no, I want to like get this message to whoever or whatever. You know what I mean? Which like, I mean, in that sense, a lot of people take like art like this and kind of twist it into like a oh, he's telling everybody that, you know what I mean? But it's like, no, he's telling a specific person that, you know what I mean? He knows whoever that's about is going to listen to the record, and so he's telling them that.
Fuck. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's not like, oh, I want everybody to know this. Like, no, you're talking to somebody.
I get a good kick out of when I was going through and like looking at lyrics. Like Genius has a whole bunch of like annotations for the song, and like
for this song,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And some of them are like everything is super speculation, right? Because like some of them are like actual like Will Toledo interviews that say X or Y. But on this song in particular, there are a whole bunch of people that are like this grand scheme, like it's all like a metaphor for something.
And that's what I'm saying, dude. These people on Genius, like, they go a little too far a lot of the time. Yep. Like, they're like, this is actually like this fucking. It's like, no, dude, this was this fucking kid sitting there
smoking.
Right, exactly. It's not that deep.
Yep.
It's not that fucking deep.
And
like,
sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes it isn't that deep.
Right.
There's nothing more to it.
Right. Exactly. Like, it's I run into that all the fucking time on Genius. Like, it's like, this line means this. Yeah. And it's this grand, and he's boom. Like, here, it's all this shit. It's just like, no, dude, he's actually just sitting there saying, stop smoking because I love you.
I don't want you to die.
That's it. Like it's not this fucking complicated. This isn't the fucking Brothers Karamazov or whatever. Like, nope, he's just laying it out there. Like, easy as that, like. That's it.
I'm trying to find like if I can see like. All right, so at the very end, on the very last, "We Don't Want You to Die," it says, quite literally, Will is telling his lover to stop smoking because he doesn't want them to die.
That's it. That's the only annotation you need for that song.
The entire song.
Actually, you know what? I was thinking that this is. It's like, you know what?
And for a minute and a half too, I mean,
Right.
it's basically 3 lines. It's basically
Right.
stop smoking, we love you, we don't want you to die. Like
That's
that, and that's it. Just
It's a
3
very,
lines.
It's a very plain message, just telling someone something, and that's it. You do not need to look deeper into that.
And
this
I
is not
fucking
some.
love it.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Almighty. I fucking love it. All right, so next on that is "Sober to Death."
Okay. This was by far my favorite song on the record for the longest time.
Oh, so all right. So for the longest time, it's changed now.
Beach Life and Death now.
Is the one okay?
Sober to Death is what absolutely hooked me onto this record.
So this was "Sober to Death" was the runner up. It goes
For you?
Bodies, Stop Smoking, and then it was "Sober to Death" for it.
Sober to Death is an absolutely fucking amazing song. Yeah. This was for sure the one that I would listen to over and over and over. Like when I first got into this record, like I was like, oh my fucking God, this has so much going on. It's in I want to, in a second, I want to throw back to like the sawtooth distortion shit that we were talking about. So I mean, great, just everything in the song. I mean, great fucking lyrics, like holy fucking shit. Like, you know, I mean, there's like a strong sexuality behind all of it, right? You know, you look lovely in your jeans, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's all about like fucking and like choking each other while you're fucking. Right. And all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, of course, the line, "We were wrecks before we crash into each other." Phenomenal.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And here's where we get to Beach Boys influence. The harmonies in the chorus, pure Beach Boys, you know. Take your hands off your neck and hold on to my body. You know, just like pure fucking Beach Boys harmonies. Great. Fucking. There's something else about the chorus. Can we play the chorus of that song?
Yeah. For me personally, there's a couple lyrics that I had written down, but the one that's like "Good stories or bad lives."
Oh, so good, dude.
Yeah, I like.
That gets right back to the we said we hated humans, we wanted to be humans. Looking at people's, you know, social media posts or whatever, and where they're doing all these crazy things. Good stories make bad lives, you know. Yeah.
Like because you go back to the Disney thing,
Right?
You know, like
it's all just this visage of, you know, I'm living this happy life, whatever. Look at my Instagram stories or whatever, you know.
When you look at Bambi, like his mom died, like yeah, it's a great story, but like
oh shit, I didn't even think about that aspect of
that's
it.
what they like.
Okay, that like a a good.
Yeah, you have this great arc of like, oh, something bad happened and something good
and it
happens
makes a good
because
story,
of this. But like,
you don't want to fucking live that because it sucks.
Yeah, that's a shitty life. Like,
true. I didn't even look at it that way. That's a great point.
Where do you? Let's see.
Nothing works for everyone. Good stories are bad lies. Oh yeah, here we go. Right into the chorus right here. Yep. To the ghost of my body.
Dude,
you
incredible.
Can text me. Oh, dude, so fucking good. Just
and
like,
I like how it changes too on the second chorus.
Yeah, to your hands off, or my hands off your neck, and then your hands off your neck. Is that it? Or
yeah, take your hands off your neck and then take my hands off your neck.
Right.
Yep.
And then we were wrecks until we crashed into each other.
Yep.
Fucking phenomenal. And I mean, that chorus is just amazing. It's fucking amazing. It's so well written. It's so goddamn catchy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it just bangs so hard.
I sang this one a whole bunch of times after it happened.
It's so fucking catchy.
It's one of those like,
right. It's just, fucking bops, dude. Like, it really does. Like,
This song slaps.
yeah, it fucking slaps, bro. And then, then you get to the end of the song, which is just like infinitely fucking interesting because it's just, we were ex before we crashed into each other, blah, blah, blah. And then, bumping and don't worry, you and me won't be alone no more. Right? And that's just repeated like 1,000 times.
Yeah, it was a fuck ton of times.
But the really fucking interesting part about that
12 times, to be specific.
That's it?
Yeah.
I thought it was more, honestly.
It feels a lot longer.
It does. But the really, really interesting part about that is the musical aspect of it, in that he changes it every time. So it starts, I think it starts with like everything changes, right? He said it's the same thing, but it's so fucking cool, and it shows how different songs can sound depending on just what you do, even though it's the same song. Mm-hmm. Because he says, like, don't worry, you and me won't be alone no more. But the first time, it's like, I don't remember if it's the first or the second, but he goes from heavy drums,
yep,
and like sawtooth distortion, like boom, like banging it. And then, like, the next time, it's more of, like, a crunchy kind of guitar sound, like a lighthearted drum. Like, if we could play that part, like, so you can, like, see just, like, such a difference that it makes in the sound. Like, one of them is really heavy and really fucking bangs.
So that was the first chorus that we just listened to?
Yeah, so it's, like, the whole end of the song. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, here we go. Yep. No drums. Oh, is this the very end?
Well, it keeps pulling off, but yeah.
Right, yeah, it keeps pulling off more and more, but like the first couple have like this banging drum sound, like just huge drums, huge guitar. Yeah. Might be further back.
Further, I mean, we're like, it's half the song is like.
Oh, is it?
Like, this is the lyric.
We were ex before we crashed into each other. Oh, that pause right there in the guitar too. Great, dude. Great.
Dude, it's like this was number 3 for me.
Oh, it's so good.
On my list.
All right, and then here we have it. Ready? So it's like. Ready? Oh yeah. Here it kicks in.
It goes on forever.
Yeah, it's just like he changes it from like this like heavy rock, huge drums, huge fucking guitar, huge everything, right, to just like a more like crunchy kind of fuzzy, like little like you and me won't be alone, no, like a hi-hat kind of thing, where as opposed to the like other one, it's like he's like they're banging fucking crashes and stuff. Like, it's just such an interesting thing to do that they're like sitting in the studio like, all right, let's like alternate between like huge and like not, like back and forth, like, I don't know, just fun, I guess. Whatever.
It was a great intro. Well, I mean, with you repeating lyrics multiple times, you kind of make it a little interesting.
Right.
You gotta throw.
Absolutely do.
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
Like that part goes on forever, but I don't feel like it's dragging.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I never feel like it's like at a point where I'm like, all right, I get it. Like,
yeah, because it's like not the same thing every time. It's like, oh, this time it's fucking huge. This time it's not huge.
Yep.
Now the drums are gone. Now we're an acoustic comes in.
Yep.
Like, all right, cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is great. Like, a lot of songs, it's just, oh, let's just repeat this forever the same exact way, and whatever, I guess.
All right, so next song, Nervous Young Inhumans.
Yeah, I mean, for me, kind of a filler. I don't know.
So I love the intro where he talks about like our P's and Q's and the raised stems, and nothing crossed beneath. Like, I really like that lyric.
Yep.
The outro was a lot.
Yeah.
Like, the outro of that song is a fuck ton. Like, where it's like mostly spoken words, and he's talking to his producer, and he's going through like
fucking. There's that weird like sample. Is that the one with the weird like sample from I don't even know what it's from. It's like maybe I'm thinking of a different song. Does that one have the sample of it? Somebody on like the subway, almost, or like a train.
This is the outro where it's like him being like, I am a good person.
Yeah,
I am a powerful person.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this one I honestly skip a lot.
Yeah, I really love the intro. Like, I really love the
intro is great.
You should have seen my cursive back then. Every letter was above the line. My P's and Q's raised the stems, so nothing crossed between them, and I'm a little bit better now.
That's great. Yeah, great lyrics.
I really, really like that, especially because there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and he picks P's and Q's. P's and Q's are shit to do in cursive to begin with, but also like mind your P's and Q's.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like big fan.
Yeah, intro to that's cool. The rest of it, you know.
Oh, the outro it's a 5-minute song, and I'd probably say like 2 minutes of it are music, but like it gets into it.
Yeah.
But the next song,
Bodies.
Holy fuck, dude!
Absolute banger, dude.
So this is a song that on my listen to where it was background music didn't do much.
Oh yeah, just
did nothing about it, like nothing
noise.
The only thing that stood out was where he was like, nope, this isn't the chorus.
Yeah, right.
You know, like that line,
right, that's clever.
And the we're alive, most of us like that, like
love that
those
dude.
Like stood out where I was kind of like I clicked into it, but on my deep dive listen to where with the headphones, holy fuck, man, holy fuck.
And again, this sawtooth distortion the whole time, you know, this just fucking like it's just this gritty ass sound.
Again, fourth wall breaking. Like,
yeah.
Periodic throughout the songs, he speaks directly to us, and I love that shit.
Is this the chorus yet? Nope. Just the building of the verse.
So when the chorus does come, it'll be more rewarding.
When that chorus fucking play the chorus, because like,
which would like
play like the one right after the "We're Alive."
Most of us.
Play that. You can include that part in it because that part's great.
We're young. We're thin.
Most of us.
We're alive.
Most of us.
Oh, it's so good.
Terrified. I'll wait for the shoulders part. I want to put my arms around them.
Like,
bangs, dude.
It's so good.
Bangs.
And I love that he includes that fucked up sentence in there.
Yeah,
I love.
What is it? Those are
you got some nice shoulders.
Yeah, just that awkward ass fucking.
Yeah, because everyone's been there. Everyone's like went to say one thing and then like meant another thing and just combined those sentences.
Right.
Like, those are you got some nice shoulders is fucking awesome.
And like this song is so good because it's like it's so the rest of the record is so like so strongly like here are the deep emotions that I feel towards this person, like just as deep as it can get, right? And then this one is just like, it's like, no, fuck all that. What's up, Monty?
He's just slurping. Look at you.
This one is like, no, fuck all that. Like, here is just, like, let me just completely pull it back. And here are just the two of us as just, like, physical entities. And, like, fuck all the deep shit, fuck all the emotion, all this bullshit. Like, I just want to hold you and, like, dance with you. and be with you. You know what I mean? Just in this vacuum of like what, don't care. And we've all felt that.
Yep.
It's so good because like it's such like the whole record is just like such this description, just such this like specific description of like modern relationships and things like that. Like, of course, like you're in all of the just like insanely deep things from like Beach Life and Death and like Sober to Death and all those things, right? But then like sometimes your brain just gets to that place where you're just like, I don't care about anything. Like I just want to fucking sit there with you, or what, you know what I mean? I just want to touch you.
Nothing else matters,
right?
Yep.
Like
put your skin on mine.
Exactly. Yes, just be fucking next to me.
Yep.
Like and everything else I can just forget about. Like in this moment, you know, which we've all experienced, and it's such a thing, you know. I mean, all the fucking time, dude, in relationships and things like that. Like I get to that point, you know, just like. And especially if, like we talked about before, like it's like pretty obviously doomed or whatever to whatever certain extent, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know that you're not the one for whatever, you know, things like that. Just like, all right, whatever. Just like I like never more do you just exist in that moment. Then you're just like whatever. Just fucking like
there's a safety to it, like away from everything else, like it literally nothing else matters,
right?
Like
just,
you hold me and like I can
hold
put
you,
I can
right,
blind spots.
Let's just
Tunnel
forget
vision.
about it all for now, right? It's just that's it, yeah. Which is fucking great, and it's such like a cool way to put it. Just like, you know, I mean, that's it. Like, don't you realize our bodies could fall apart any second? I'm terrified your body could fall apart any second. Like, that's it, you know.
And then like the next set of lyrics, especially after that, where it's you know like I don't care, it doesn't matter. We can get real horny and keep messing around. We can keep real quiet, won't be making no sound. And like it's just whatever. I don't care.
That's it.
It doesn't
right
matter.
And I love like the open sexuality of it.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, we can get real horny and we can fuck, or we can just sit here and not fuck.
Yep.
I'm happy with both.
Oh, Monty.
Wow. He wants to be in the podcast, this guy, huh?
Let's get him a mic. Mic him up.
But that's what it is. Yeah, it's just, yeah, we, you know, we can fuck, we can not fuck, whatever. Let's just be near each other for a little bit. And that's fucking great because we've all felt that, like, and I think that's so sick to put that in the middle of this just like record that's just dripping with emotion and like all of these things, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, but here's also just the like completely unemotional side. Well, not really unemotional, because I mean that is
It's
emotional,
still,
you know what I mean? But just here's the less like convoluted thing. Here's just the straight up fucking like shut up, Monty. Here's just the A and B fucking touch me, I'll touch you, let's fucking go. Kind of situation, you know? What are you crying about?
He didn't like the album.
You don't like Carsey Everest? Huh?
Oh, Monty. So after Bodies, the record starts to fall off a little bit for me.
I agree with that.
So you get Cute Thing next, right?
Yep.
And so with this song in particular, this is where I first realized the lyrics changed from the first 2011 one to the rewritten one, or the re-recorded one. So that line where he's like, I wish I had Frank Ocean's voice and James Brown stage presence,
right?
And then like that's super modernized compared to where it was originally with Dan Bijar and John Entwistle. It was the Destroyer and the Who, and They Might Be Giants. They're people from them.
Okay.
So like it's clear how that influence changed for him, going from, you know, these wildly like I mean, They Might Be Giants, like
kind of obscure,
yeah. And then now it's, you know, James Brown and Frank Ocean.
A little more relatable.
Definitely.
Or just recognizable, I'd say, yeah.
I also liked how he ended the song differently. Because on the 2018 one, it ends with, like, I'm in love. There are some excommunicated priests casting demons. Ask one what its name was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the 2018 one finishes. The 2011 one finished after that, there's like 3 or 4 more lines after it, and he talks about like being like a Stanley Kubrick porn director. Like that's how the 2011 one, and like I found it interesting that he was like, not this time.
Yeah, right.
Not this. Like no, there was no need for this. Like,
Yeah.
we can take this off.
Yeah, I never looked at the old lyrics from that one. That's fucking interesting. I mean, that for sure. Cute Thing is another one that is just kind of a skipper. I mean,
I really like the first 50 to 60%, and then the song like the outro is let's go back to it. The outro, I mean, like it's like the do.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
He died in an explosion of mixed media and poorly written reviews. Like I get it. You
Yeah,
know,
it's,
I'm in love. I would sleep naked next to you naked. I'm in love.
Right.
You know, like okay, it didn't do
a
anything.
little
for me.
heavy-handed, yeah. And it's just, I mean, just honestly, I mean, just like the music of it is just like, all right. You know, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't hook me like a lot of the other shit does. You know, it's like, okay.
Now this song, High to Death, brings it back for me.
Yes, definitely.
Brings it back
High to
for
Death
me.
is fantastic, and High to Death makes me like very, very specifically remember a mushroom trip that I took. that I had a bad time on.
Oh, a bad time?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no.
I mean, this is not like a happy song.
Right.
This is like a,
I'm High to Death.
Yeah, I'm fucked up and like that's it. Yeah, I mean, I had this mushroom trip where like I had a bad time, and this song like weirdly makes me think of that specifically. But it's perfect. It is. It perfectly musically describes like that feeling. That feeling of like, I mean, not, and not even high to death, but like drunk to fucking death.
Oh yeah. I mean,
You know
the
what I mean?
first set of lyrics, I fell on the ground, I was so sober, I can't get off of the ground, round,
Right.
you know?
And just that kind of abject quality of it where it's all just like, I don't know, the whole song you feel like you're just kind of like spiraling into fucking like depression. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, which like you are.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just like this dark, I mean, it's very, very much like the darkest thing on the record. Like,
There's, I mean, like one of the verses later on in the song, I can't turn this thing off, it keeps following me. Used to be so human, now I'm just a machine. Can't turn this thing off, keeps following me. And then this is the lyrics that really got me. When did you say you were leaving, and when did you really leave?
oh,
Like
okay.
I really fucking like that
Yeah.
because it goes both ways. Like how many times have you really disengaged from a situation far before you said you were gone,
Oh, yeah, true.
or
Yeah,
vice
yeah,
versa
yeah.
to that? How many times have you said like, no, I'm leaving, and stuck around for a wicked
Right,
long
right,
time
right.
after that?
The first one is interesting though because I mean, that goes right back to that same thing, like how long ago did you realize that like this isn't it or whatever, and then like when did you actually like make the moves to conclude that isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a fucking great line, and those are the things that go through your fucking just spiraling drunken or fucked up or whatever brain, right? As you're just like in that, like, I mean, the song is a black hole.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
an absolute black
definitely.
hole of just that shit, like that, just like dark. Like, I mean, you take this record as like a concept of like a relationship or whatever, and like this is the black hole part of it. Like,
yeah.
this is the, like, I'm drunk as fuck and I'm fucking depressed and just like this sucks. You know what I mean? Like,
This was a rough song. Like there's a shitload of lyrics that really fucking like really hit home.
Yeah.
That you can listen to and you can be like, oh,
yeah.
I've been there.
Yep.
This is also the first part of the where it references All Summer in a Day. So there's a sample where it's like, William, like, let me out, William. Like,
right, yeah, which I didn't realize.
and William being Will Toledo.
Right.
And then, like, well, there's those lyrics too that come after that where it's, and I said, hell is the sun burning forever at the center of things. And then this is another cool part in this where he goes like, a ball on fire at the center of things, a ball on fire at the center of things, a brain on fire at the center of things. And like, I like how it's like, yeah, the sun, center of all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And then like my brain is on fire as the center of the bullshit.
Well, right, and so I didn't realize this, and you told me this like before we started, that like that he's referencing the And it is Ray Bradbury's story, All Summer in a Day, which is like this short science fiction story about kids living on
Venus.
Is it Venus?
Yep.
Yeah, kids living. It's like a futuristic thing. Kids are living on Venus, and what is it? You can only see the sun for one day, or whatever.
I don't quite remember the story. I just know it's about this girl Margot.
Yeah. If I remember the story, it's that there's only one day every 10 years or something where you can see the sun, and so all these kids in essentially elementary school or whatever are all psyched up to go see the sun, and they lock this one girl in a locker.
Yep.
While they all go look at it, and then once she gets let free or whatever, it's gone. So yeah, I didn't know that he was. I never recognized that reference in that.
Yeah. So this song and the next song, "Famous Prophets," reference that story a lot.
Okay.
Throughout most, it's a big theme throughout that whole thing. So yeah. So I mean, the outro to "High to Death," is is the girl that drew the art for the album.
Oh, okay.
So it's her saying, "Welcome to the Nevada Music Art Audio. We are your guide. Hello, my name is Hojin Seli Jun. I'm at the senior of McQueen High School. My portfolio, and it's that drawing of it.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
I'd be curious where Toledo came across it to begin with.
Or if was it specifically for that? Or
I don't think it was for it. I think it was just wow, that looks cool.
Really?
I'm gonna use it. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, because it's very appropriate.
Right.
Yeah.
It was intense. It was an intense process. Talking about drawing it to personify the intensity, but it's hard to talk about it now because I think that it wasn't for me. At least that's how I felt when I'm trying to figure out what to do now.
Oh, I thought it was specifically for the record. Wow. I mean, it seems like it would be. It's
it fits it. Yeah.
It's very perfect for it. Huh.
And then so when it goes to the next song, when we on to Famous Prophets, closer to the end of it, you have the spoken word part.
Yeah.
And that spoken word part is Reese Mallon, who played Margot, who got put in the box during the live action, the video they made for Ray Bradbury's thing. So I thought that was pretty interesting that he called upon this next to no name actress from a short story, from a video of a short story.
Right. A short film of an obscure short story to, yeah.
And I mean, so the outro of the song is the hardest part for me. Well, not the outro, the spoken word part of it, and then at the end of that, we're dude, that let's see if we can pull it up here. The after the spoken word part, when where he just starts.
Love does not delight in evil. Choices for the truth. It always protects.
Right here, dude.
Trusts.
Always perseveres.
Always perseveres.
Oh. The rest of the record led up to this moment for me. Ooh, dude, absolutely fucking incredible.
Yeah, just pure, just letting it fucking go.
I mean, this is another 16 minute song, right?
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, the first 13 minutes of that song only exist to get me to this point.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's very conservative in the first
But I'm okay with it.
Oh, yeah.
I want the build up.
Yep.
And it. I'm not saying that the first part of the song is bad or in any sense it's just it's there, it exists. Mm-hmm. It's its own song.
Yeah.
And this might go back to what you were saying when we talked about Beach Life and Death, about how I wanted it to be split up.
Right.
This is a song where I don't want it to be split up.
Oh, okay.
I don't Beach Life and Death. I feel like I could slash right through an audio track.
Oh yeah, the exact spots where you could be this is a new song.
This song didn't feel that way.
No, this one's super super continuous for sure. Yeah, there's not like those just like drastic changes of like, okay, now this is very obviously like an entire different thing that you're
Yep.
doing. Yeah.
Like each part felt like it was supposed to be there, and we got to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck when that happens.
Yeah, that part
Oh
fucking
my
bangs,
God.
dude. Yeah, I mean that.
Oh.
Yeah, that whole the first like 10 or whatever minutes of that song, are just fucking. I mean, it's just absolutely chock full of like great lyrics and
Start
stuff
to
like
finish.
that. Yeah, just
start
fucking,
to finish.
It's like, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of like recapping just all of the emotions of the entire record. Just like,
There's also this is another part where lyrics changed from the 2011 to 2018 one. So
Okay.
in that girl's spoken outro part, some of the words are changed. So like some of those are like actual Bible scriptures,
oh, okay.
and in the 2018 one, he changes the lyrics through them just to show perspective of like where he's come from. Yeah, it's super subtle things. Like I don't have any off the top of my head, but it's very subtle to where it was then to how he is now.
So originally it was Bible things, you're saying?
It's still Bible things, but it's less like I feel this way and more like I felt that way.
Oh,
like
okay, right,
very
yeah.
subtle changes just to show I've aged.
Right,
It's
right.
been 8 years.
Right, just like the end of, kind of the ending monologue of the whole record.
Right. But then we get to the end. We get to the final song, the self-titled song. Oh,
Those boys.
dude, I haven't looked at the sun for so long. I've forgotten how much it hurts too. Oh, fuck, man.
So good, dude. That is a throwback to a song off of Teens of Style.
Sunburn shirts.
Yeah, Sunburn Shirts, yeah, which is, fucking great, dude. That is such a good lyric. Everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. We all feel it.
Yep.
Like-
It's all everybody knows exactly. And like that's another one where it's vague enough where you get it, but it's specific enough that you understand
exactly.
it. You know?
We all know exactly what that is. You don't even have to say no more. It's just like, yep, I know, I get it. Like, yep. I think the whole thing is fucking great. I love the organ throughout the whole thing. The organ is fantastic. I love the whole kind of like wrapping up of the concept of that they're connected to the brain.
When I come back, you'll still be there. When I come back, you'll still be there.
Right.
Like how it flips back and forth.
Right. And yeah, I mean the whole ending is like obviously like it's like the part of you that exists for me like exists in this.
Yep.
You'll grow and you'll become a different person, blah blah blah, whatever, but like I still have this like memory of you and this whole idea of you, whatever, that like exists just in this for me, and I can like pull that from my fucking brain whenever I want to, and it's like, yeah, of course, like we all have that, like with everything, because and it does get into the sense of like, when you have like a great memory of something or whatever, right? Like of a certain place or like a certain person or everything. And then once you go back to it, it's like not quite the same. It's not like what the memory of it was, like that like nostalgic memory of like, oh, I remember going there and like it made me feel this way. And then, 15 years later you go back there and it's like, it's not quite that,
And I've had the opposite too, where I've had memories in my head that I put to like a certain extent and like made me feel a certain way, and then like I've had other people like recall that memory and it's nothing like what I thought it was.
Right,
Like
yeah,
I
that
built
too.
I built this thought up in my head.
oh yeah,
that-
you just like romanticize this whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah, and like I have somebody go back and be like, no, it was an awful time, and I'm like,
Right.
oh well,
You're like,
shit.
oh, in my fucking brain it was amazing. Like, it's weird. Like, so in this one too, he's like, there's like this big like kind of motif, I guess, of like being on the beach and like it kind of just leading into like whatever, right? Just being this kind of like endless thing. And if you listen to there's one song off Teens of Style where he talks about it, and then like he talked about it in this interview, but like he's a big James Joyce fan, and so like Ulysses was like Joyce's like big book or whatever, right? It's like super like famous book and shit, and it's like, you know, notably like hard to read or whatever. And so he like, I mean, Will Toledo is like a smart fucking guy, you know, like he in all his interviews and stuff, he's like talking about reading Joyce and reading all this different bullshit and everything. And like I know that there's this part in Ulysses about this big like monologue about being on the beach and like kind of like walking into like eternity on the beach, right? And it's just like this big thing about like how it's just this endless, like vast, endless kind of thing. And so, you know, like he wrote all, and he recalls it in Beach Life and Death, like, you know, he wrote all these different like beach songs, right? Like which like I think is about that, like, or kind of like a callback to that, you know what I mean? Like he's like, oh, I wrote like Beach Fags and like Beach Funeral and Beach Death and then like Beach Life in Death and like this whole thing. And like the whole kind of motif about it is like with this last song, you know, he's talking about like they're walking up, the two like brothers connected to the brain, like walking off into the distance on the beach. It's this kind of like, you know, infinite thing, and then that's like supported by like the end of like, oh, this will always exist in my brain, you know.
They were just one walk off in the sun. They're not kissing, they're not fucking, they're just having fun,
right? Yeah, exactly. It's just like I think he kind of took that and put it in like, okay, here's kind of like a setting where I can just have them like exist forever, right? Which is kind of the whole point of the whole record, really, and his whole reflection on it and everything. Like, here's a way that I can have this exist forever for me, and like here's a perfect setting for it, you know, like just the beach, you're just walking off into the distance, and like that's it. And then like the monologue at the end, like, you know, I fucking love that monologue. Yeah, it's like
this is the end of the song. It's just a song. This is the version that you mean exist. Like the names have been changed, and so pulling out whoever you are. These are only lyrics now.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like this is it. I just want to remember it this way. This is how it's gonna exist for me, and like that's it. You know, this is not like a request or like, you know, whatever.
Call to action.
Yeah. This is just a song. You know, that's it. Like this is just for me. And I'm happy with that, you know, which is great.
During my first listen through, where it was just casual background, when that spoken word part happened, I was like, oh, it's just spoken word. Like, I feel like I need to pay attention, right?
Yeah,
so I stopped what I was doing, and I listened to it, and I was like, okay.
All right.
I was like, all right. And I had no idea this was the outro. I had no idea this was the end. I just was like, oh, let me listen. And so now I was like, okay, all right. And then kept going. And then, like, I was like, oh. Like, this is like the hour where he comes back, you know, when I come back, you'll still be here.
Right,
you know, but then that was it. And I was like, oh, damn, so it was that important.
Yeah,
I was
right. Oh, yeah, I was like, okay. The finisher, like, right. Yeah, all right, so
I recognized that it was an important section.
Right.
Spoken word, I had to listen. I listened to it, was like, damn, okay, like that was deep. And then it ended, and I was like, oh, shit, like, that was actually
the important thing, right? Yeah, that was like, that's the kind of message at the end of like, hey, just so everybody knows this.
Yeah.
Goodbye. You know what I mean? Like,
so on my deep listen to, I was pumped. I was ready for it. I was like, I need to hear what the buildup was to this moment.
And then you get to Famous Prophets, and it fucking explodes, and then you get all the shit at the end, kind of just tightly wrapping everything up. And then you get the monologue of just like, and here's like the purpose of all this, and like, all right, that's it. Enjoy my art, you know, essentially. Yeah.
Dude, I loved it. Yeah. And then even coming back into it, so like it ends on the, when I come back, you'll still be here, right? And then if you put that song on repeat, or if you put the album on repeat, it goes right back into the intro. So it goes right into We Don't See Each Other Much, like immediately after that. So like, I'll still be there, you'll still be here, and then if you keep listening, it's We Don't See Each Other Much.
Oh, that's so good, dude. Yep. That's so fucking good. Oh my god.
I really enjoyed this record. I'm coming to terms with, so like, I know a couple of the other albums that I have lined up for other people here, and I'm coming to terms that I'm probably not gonna like most of the records.
Right, yeah.
And like, I think it's going to be an interesting challenge to talk about something objectively. Especially something with, like,
you
music.
Don't enjoy.
Yeah, right? Especially like, something with music where like you either like it or you don't,
right,
you know?
You can, you know, like, how do you like separate yourself and be like, I don't enjoy this at all, but like, let me, like, all right. Yeah,
and
it's a tough thing to do.
The guiding thing for me is going to be like these are people that care so much about something, so it has to mean a lot to them.
Right. And that can for sure get you more into the mindset of like.
See what I did there? But
What?
it means something to me.
Oh shit! All right,
Boom!
all right.
Had that shit planned.
Damn, dude. Kids bringing in lyrics from the record we're talking about to describe the rest of the podcast. I love it. This is a 10 out of 10 already, dude. But you're right. Like, it's a good outlook to have with it. Like, okay, you're not going in. I mean, because, if you're doing a music podcast where you go, I don't like this, I'm going to shit on it to you the entire time. Like, come on.
And especially
you know
to
what I mean?
the
Like,
person's face that, like, they hold so much value about.
right. And yeah, so you have to, it comes in with empathy and things like that. And, okay, why do you like this? And, like, why does this mean so much to you? And stuff like that, right? Like, as opposed to just, like, I listen to it. Fucking sucked.
Yeah, right,
Like,
right.
Here's why it sucks. What's up?
And I'm kind of curious if there are records that will change my opinion. Because,
That's what I was
like,
wondering, too.
There are times where you hear something and you're like, not into this,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Very rarely do you say, I'm not into this. Let me dig deep.
Yeah. And
If ever.
And then a little
So, like,
while later, you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
I
kind of
am into this.
exactly.
Like,
I'm
yeah.
kind of curious, like, because
There's growers
yeah,
for sure.
Oh, definitely.
There's growers.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, you said that you're having somebody on who's like playing a Floyd record for you. You don't like Floyd. Like,
I'm not a Pink Floyd fan at
yeah,
all.
so you'll see what happens, and
I'm gonna be a little bit upset if I like come out of this as like a huge Pink Floyd fan.
I'm gonna be so happy. I love Pink Floyd, dude.
We'll see.
I fucking love Pink Floyd. Speaking of mushrooms, dude, yeah, Floyd on mushrooms, good time. I mean, that's like the most cliche thing, but it actually is very true.
I mean, there's a reason for it, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, one day,
Yeah.
one day I'll get into Pink Floyd, not into the mushrooms. Who knows? Maybe both. All right. So, Twin Fantasy. If you could, how would you make it better? Is there something you could remove? Is there something you could add? Because I think going back to ice skating, you can never have a perfect 10.
That's fair.
There's always room for improvement,
Yeah.
and there's nothing that will ever be perfect.
I would maybe take out some of the more fillery aspects of like Cute Thing and Nervous Young Inhumans. Yeah.
Do you think, with this record in particular, that having the 2011 version kind of took away from the 2018 version, or vice versa?
I think vice versa. I think it adds to it. I mean, I think it's such a cool thing to be able to look at like how he did what he did with what he had, and then to get signed to Matador and be like, now I can fight. You know what I mean? Because it really does. Some people don't like. There's this thing with like lo-fi, right? Like a lo-fi is like lo-fi has become an aesthetic sometimes, right? Like, oh, I want it to sound lo-fi or whatever. But some things are just lo-fi because that's all they have, right?
Yep. You don't have a choice.
But not only that, there's also this other thing with music, where a lot of people that I will like show certain music to or whatever, or people that will listen to certain music will not like something because of like how the person's voice sounds, right? So a lot of times, like, I don't know, take like for an example, like Pavement, right?
Yep.
A lot of people don't like Pavement or something like that, or like Dinosaur Jr. or whatever, because like, they don't have a good voice, and so that for a lot of people, like, it's like, oh no, that's it, I can't listen to it, you know what I mean? But there is like the artistic aspect of it where it's like, oh, but like, what about like how it makes you feel?
Yep.
And like things like that, it's like, oh, but it's not like particularly pleasing to my ears or whatever, what I mean? Like a lot of people are like, it's such like a meme band, but like Neutral Milk Hotel, right? People are like, oh no, he sounds like he's fucking whining or whatever.
Yep.
But it's like, oh no, but it's actually like a really good record. Like, I mean, both of their records are like really good, but it's just like a lot of people can't get past certain just like dynamic aspects of things like that. So like with like the original like Twin Fantasy and stuff like that, it's like, I mean, if I listen, if only the original edition existed, and I'm like, oh my god, this song Beach Life and Death is like so good or whatever, I mean, somebody would like listen to it and be like, it sounds like it was recorded on a fucking potato.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is
Did
ass.
you make this?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like yeah, it's nice to have like a nice fully fleshed out like fucking just great version of all that stuff that is not only artistically great and makes you feel all sorts of things, but also sounds fucking great. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so yeah, I think it's fantastic that, like, I think it was an absolute great choice. And for sure with Matador, like, a pretty ballsy move to be like, oh, we're going to sign you to our major record label and we will allow you to re-record. Yeah, right. Like your album that you wrote when you were like 18 or whatever. Like,
and most of the times too with that, you know, like I've seen various bands, you know, get put to a label and like they redo a record and just so it sounds better. But it's the same song start to finish,
right.
Nothing changes other than it sounds better.
And it's a lot of times with that, like, it sounds better, but like slightly, you know what I mean? Just like barely. Like the original version wasn't that much different or whatever, you know.
It wasn't done with a snowball mic altogether.
Right, exactly. It was like just at like a kind of lower level studio. You know what I mean? Yeah, but this is like, it's like this went from like 0 to fucking 100, like.
And for him to like change things, like I can't think of another record where a song was re-released, re-recorded, and changed things about it. Because like, I mean, like a couple years back, there was a big thing where Paramore wasn't going to play Misery Business anymore live.
Why?
Hayley Williams felt like those lyrics were so 2009. She didn't agree with them anymore about like how, I mean, the lyrics are, you know, like the girl, I stole the boy from you, you know, yada yada. Right. Like she's like, I don't believe in those lyrics like whatsoever. Well, like they just stopped playing that song. Granted, it's from the time frame, but it doesn't fit into which is cool, whatever. Yeah. But like, I've never heard of like there's people that they're like, I'm not doing that anymore, or change lyrics live. I mean, even you with some at the party, you know, change
some songs
lyrics.
I would just change lyrics live just for the hell of it. Yeah,
right. But like here, like it's completely different, or like removed things and added things compared to where it was.
And it very much is like, here's my perspective on it now,
right?
Like, after reflection,
and I can't think of another lyric, another album or song that changed like that, especially over the course of 8 years.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's funny that after you saying all that, like there's a Mountain Goat song that is like one of the most famous Mountain Goat songs, and like everybody fucking loves it, and like he just like refuses to play it live now because he's just like, oh no, this is like I don't know, like toxically masculine or whatever. Or it's just this like super like kind of anti-feminist kind of view of like, you know, it's all about like, oh, a guy like going to these great like dramatic lengths with like a gun to like go get the girl or whatever. I don't, you know what I mean? It's just this dramatic thing, and like people always request it live because it's a fucking great song. And he's just always like, I'm not fucking playing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm done with it. Like, I fucking hate that song. I don't agree with that. Yeah. And it's like, well, you know, I mean, you fucking wrote it, and like you can do what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
if you don't want to play it, then like
you don't have to.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like.
I would almost be more upset if he felt like he had to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Even when he like doesn't want to. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, dude, I mean, you fucking wrote the song. You can not play it if you don't want to. And if you think that like the lyrics or whatever are like not appropriate or whatever the situation may be. Yeah, dude, it's your fucking art. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious on like bands that have been around for like decades at a time, like
playing
like
the same
AC/DC.
goddamn song.
Not even that, but like there's no way in hell that you're. I mean, maybe some boomer shit where like you just like you're stuck on that mindset forever and that's it. But like
no way that you have the same thought process that you did fucking 40 years
that's
ago.
What I'm saying it would blow my mind if I was a 45, 50-year-old man thinking the same way I did when I was 16.
Well, I mean, think if you're like in fucking Blink playing like going away to
my
college.
Grandma eat 9 fucking hot dogs.
Right.
You know? And now you're a 50-year-old person being like,
right.
Fuck, Grandma's dead.
Singing like
fucking diabetes, ate too many
singing
hot
like
dogs.
fucking dick songs and stuff like right, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, it must feel for sure a little bit weird.
Like those moments that you wrote, those like definitely happened at a moment. I believe that those things happened.
Right.
They haven't happened in a long time for you. Yeah. Like how can you still relate to 16-year-old you running around naked?
Yeah, there must be a moment where it just becomes just a song, you know, and you're just, this is it. I don't know.
Yeah, I will never be in that position where I'll have to make that decision.
Yeah, same. I mean, you even after like a year of playing the songs that I wrote, I was like, I don't feel this way anymore. I'm gonna change the lyrics. You know what I mean? That like
Yeah.
very quickly, not like fucking
40
20 years
yeah,
later,
yeah.
right? Yeah, like Jesus Christ. Yeah, I actually can't imagine that. Jesus, I'd be like, this is dumb.
All right, so to round this out, if you were to, besides coming on a podcast to talk about a specific album, how would you get somebody else casually to listen to this record? Is there a song that stands out where you'd be like, listen to this song. If you like this song, you'll fuck with the rest of the album?
I would like maybe throw on Bodies for somebody. But I feel like if I were to like, any time that I've actually, and like multiple times I've like sent people like, been like, oh yeah, I'll get into this band, like Car Seat Headrest, you know. I would go Sober to Death. I mean, that's the one that hooked me. That typically tends to be the one that I would be like, hey, listen to this. I listened to this for like the first time and was like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing, you know? So like, give it a shot from there, you know? And I think like Bodies, if someone were to listen to that, you could be like, oh, this is cool and like a dope song, but then you might, upon listening to the rest of the record, be like, oh, that's not quite the same, you know? Like Sober to Death, you could be like, okay, damn, and like everything else is very much in the same tier.
Yep.
And then like something like Bodies is just like, oh, this is more of like a poppy kind of thing in that same tier, you know? So yeah, I would send somebody that. I mean, that was how I listened to it for the first time, and I was just like, you know, drew me in for sure. You
gotta sit somebody down though.
Yeah,
that's 14 minutes. Like if somebody sends me a Netflix show and it's like, well, there's 14 episodes and 16 seasons, I'd be like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know, like in a 14-minute song in the music world is a long ass song.
Oh no, Sober to Death. So that one's only gonna be like, I think like 5 minutes maybe. But I would also go Beach Life and Death.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I get Beach Life and Death confused. Yeah, sorry.
I would also send someone Beach Life and Death and just be like, listen to this whole fucking
just
thing.
start the finish.
Yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit. Just do it. Just listen to it. Like, you will feel things. You'll feel all sorts of things as you listen to that. And if they don't, then I'm just like, all right, we're not friends anymore.
We're not. See you later. You're not somebody I can relate to in any sort of capacity.
If you didn't get a single thing out of this fucking 15-minute long song, then like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
The lyric says it made me feel something.
Yes.
It didn't even tell you what to feel. You can feel anything at all.
Let's go. Like, come on, that didn't make you feel anything. Oh my God, you know what? You want to be a human, dude? Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I would send that. And if I were to rate it too, I mean, I would 9.5 for sure.
9.5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never really thought about putting a rating on it because, like, ratings are super suggestive.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think a 9.5. All right. I think a 9.5 is, like, wildly high.
For this?
Yeah.
Okay.
For Twin Fantasies. I think I'd be hard pressed to find anything that's a 9.5. Like, I think that's like so close to perfect.
Yeah.
That like it would have to be made for me, or I'd have to make it.
Like, what would you put as a 9.5? Just
I genuinely don't think I could put it
any record at all.
I don't like a 9.5. I think is like
Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I love that record, and like it's probably a 9.1, but like that's a lot, man.
Really?
9.5 is like fucking perfect.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty close.
Like I think this is a little spoiler. I think I'm gonna round out the end of my like series of this just gushing over My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like I think like I'm just gonna sit down and I'm just gonna gush over that record.
Yeah, but you put that in 9.1.
Like, dude, it's a killer record, man.
That's like your favorite record, right?
Yeah, it's definitely number one.
And you're not putting it at... Wow, all right.
I listening to it, like, there's things that I would remove. Like, altogether, entirely.
Wow.
Like, Jay-Z. Get him out of there.
Jay-Z's verse in Monster is so bad, dude.
Yeah, and he comes back with, like, a kind of better verse, but, like...
Dude, his voice, his verse in Monster is atrocious.
It's bad.
It is really bad.
We'll get there one day.
Yeah. Get rid of that, though. For sure. All right, yeah, all right. If you want, you know what, drop 0.9 just for Jay-Z's verse in Monster. I'll.
You know,
it's so bad. My God.
All right, so you got anything else to say about this record?
Listen to it and feel things. Be gay. Be a furry.
Hell yeah. Well,
Just put yourself in the mindset of a gay, bi, furry, whatever, and just listen to this, and then just vibe and be sad, and see them fucking live, dude.
Yeah, I'm interested. I looked at some live videos while it was happening, and I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I saw them live last. I don't know if it was last year or before, whatever. But man, yeah, they played all the bangers. Everything live was just it was one of the best live shows I've been to for sure. Beach Life and Death. Whew. 14-minute long live song and them just fucking banging shit out, dude. This kid just fucking screaming his heart out. Like, yeah, amazing, dude. Amazing. Go see Car Seat Headrest live. Listen to Twin Fantasy. Be a gay furry.
Well, that's it.
That's all I got for you.
Well, that's it. Well, shit.
Episode 1 of Your Favorite Album.
What a great title. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy. I never know how to finish things. Like, I don't.
You can cut it however you want to.
I
As well,
could,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? You could just fucking.
Thank you.
Very happy to be the first guest
Yeah,
on
dude,
Your
number
Favorite
one.
Album. Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous of furries. I'm gonna cut this out. We're already past where the closer is, but I'm kind of jealous of furries. Like, there's nothing in my life that is so wildly embarrassing that I could wear it on display in front of people and not care.
Right?
And like
you know
I
what?
kind of respect that.
I also feel like there's nothing that like I feel like I can't. There's nothing that I can do where I can achieve the happiness that a furry achieves when they're in their furry
fuck
suit.
no.
You know what I mean? Like, I can never be as happy as like putting on a fucking dog suit and just being like, finally, I am like myself.
Yeah,
you know
I'm
what I mean?
fucking
Like,
Beethoven right now, and I'm like nothing compared to this.
Yeah, right, like
can't wait for next year when I can do it again. You know?
yeah, like I got nothing where I can just fucking enter that zone and just it's. I mean, I feel like it must be like how a trans person feels once they finally like put on a fucking dress
yeah.
or whatever. You know what I mean? Just like, damn,
It's gotta be.
finally,
Yeah.
like here I fucking am. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, give me that. What can I do where I'm just finally like, you know what I mean? I just go through life being like, I don't know who I am, and it sucks.